Hi, and welcome back to Systems. This is Gaming Insurrection Systems, where I, Lindsay Beatty, editor in chief of Gaming Insurrection, talk about a particular game and talk about the mechanics, the wherewithal, the how to play it, the secrets behind it. And it's a game that I love, and a game that I find fun, and a game that I adore. So I make the choices for the games, and this issue 55, we are talking about a very, very favorite SNES platformer that I played and rented and played and then bought and then kept it in my collection for the last, I don't know, 30 years or so. It is Addams Family. It is based off of the famously spooky, weird family that I absolutely adore. And it is a platformer. It's a very hard platformer that is based on the first movie of that franchise. So this is a favorite, but it's very hard, and as y'all will see, I am going to be struggling through this platformer. And so to note before we even get started, know that I have put on a code for no damage and for to have the flying fez copter, because there is a section when you go to save Wednesday that you absolutely need the flying fez copter, and you need some cheats on to do this. So we are going to get started now. And I have to actually like pull it up and get her going. I had to figure out how to get this going. um, so let's see here. Yes, so we are ready now. So we are we're getting started. I'm not going to use a password. It is I wanted to play from the beginning so that you guys could see from the beginning how this works, and what the game is like. So it's I kind of sat here on the main screen for a minute. It is very much, it is designed like the main screen is designed like the box cover of the first movie. And so keep in mind the movie is different than the TV show, and the later direct to um, video direct to video. There is, because three people have played, or at least actually four people have played Gomez in the entire time that this franchise has been a live action thing. And this one features John Astin as Gomez, and I loved how they did this. It features John Astin as Gomez, but it references the movie. So you're gonna see when I go into the family room, the music room, that the likeness is actually Raul Julia, who is my favorite, one of my favorite actors. He's dead now, but he's one of my favorite actors. I will watch anything that Raul Julia is in. And so, but John Astin's still alive. But he's fantastic as Gomez. I do love the TV show also. So we're gonna go inside the main house. This is the hall of stairs. This is the main part of the Addams Family mansion. And then see in the music room there is Raul Julia's likeness as Gomez and Angelica Houston as Morticia. So the key here is, the point of this is, the whole family has been kidnapped. Okay, you as Gomez, and the only people who haven't been kidnapped are Gomez, Lurch, and Thing. Okay, and the whole point of this is Lurch is sitting there and he's playing the harpsichord, and you as Gomez have to save your family. And so your family, of course, is Grandmama, who's Morticia's mother in the movie series. She's her mother. Then you have to save Wednesday, Pugsley, and Fester. So, and then at the end, you fight the judge, who was Gomez's neighbor in the movie, who he annoyed all the time by hitting golf balls over off his deck and into his house. And so the judge, that was kind of weird that they made it be the judge, but I mean, you had to have seen the movie to understand why it was the judge. So yes, you get the heart power up. There are a couple of bosses that you fight that you get the heart power up. And they're not necessarily saving a family member. It's so that you get full life and you can take more hits. So I just put a code on and I came out here to show y'all the boss battle. So then you can come out here, and then you can go in the tree. And this is a giant, this whole thing, and they give you like tips and things. It's things, boxes, which is weird because they don't tell you that in the movie. In the TV show, thing could warp around the mansion through different boxes. So, it was kind of weird. But, I mean, the Addams Family is weird by itself. So, they are my favorite spooky little family, though. I absolutely adore the Addams Family. But, yes, so the judge was a whole thing. You had to have seen the movie. So, this is really more like an homage to the Addams Family. The platforming elements I really like. I like what they're trying to do here, but I have a problem with how Gomez moves. Him moving is just it leaves a lot to be. You have to get really used to it, and you're gonna take a lot of unfair hits. You just are. Just know that you are. There are a lot of things here. You'll see I'm getting ready to demonstrate that you can walk through walls here, and they tell you that. They highly encourage you to test all false walls. One of the other things I don't like about this game is it needed an on-screen map. I feel like Super Metroid is the standard here for games like this, because I mean, Super Metroid was action adventure, but it was also kind of a platformer, if you really want to think about it that way. It had an on-screen map. It learned from the mistakes of Metroid itself, and it needed a map, and it got a map in Super Metroid. So I feel like by the time this came out, Super Metroid was a whole thing. So this actually, I take it back. Super Metroid had not come out yet. Now that I think about it, this came out in 1992, 1991. So Super Metroid was a little ways off, but they could have put a map in here. They needed to put some type of map. This game is entirely too big for this not to have an on-screen map of where you are in relation to the house and like being in the house. They could have mapped that out. So, it's not like it was taxing the limits of the car. So, and this game is entirely too big, and it's a giant maze. So I'm in the underground section, which takes a lot. And I don't even think there's a boss down here, but there isn't a you really don't need to come down here. I guess you don't really need to come down here. It's kind of pointless to come down here. I mean, unless you're trying to get the heart containers, you're probably gonna need them. So yeah, I guess you could. I never do use the golf ball because I kept the sword, which is also a nod to Gomez's history as a swordsman. He fancied himself a fencer, and he was actually really good. And you'll see Raul Julia in the movie, and you also see John Astin in the TV show use the sword, the fencing sword. So I love the little touches to this because as a massive Addams Family fan, I expect to see that sort of thing in a game that is about the Addams Family. So, yeah. And I am a massive Addams Family fan. I went to the movies to see both movies. I was the one who was laughing at the theater because I thought it was hilarious. Debbie Jelinski is one of my favorite characters. I have cosplayed as her slightly. Um, I have um, I have dressed as for Halloween. I dressed as Wednesday and Morticia. Um, I am trying to get my husband to do Gomez, which he is not opposed. He would actually do it if he had the suit. He said yes, he would. He actually really likes the Addams Family as well. But he's probably not as big a fan as I am. So Deja Vu, if y'all recall, I started out, I went outside and I was at the West Chimney. I went into the West Chimney. So this is Deja Vu, and I'm not quite sure what Deja Vu, why they did Deja Vu like that. It's kind of weird, but all right. There are a lot of references to the movie and a lot of references to the Addams Family TV show. The third director's thing hadn't come out yet because that came out in 1998. So we're going to go back in the house because I'm like, nah, I'm going back in the house. And then we're going to go into a room. Because I want to go, I'm going to, in this playthrough, I'm going to save Wednesday. So you'll see here, I make this giant run through the conservatory, which is Morticia's thing. She loves plants and stuff. She has the man-eating plant, the Venus flytrap. And in the movie, you see her cutting the stems, cutting the heads off of roses and keeping the stems. She's very much a goth. Which is also probably why they appealed to me early on in life. I went through this whole section a lot. And I was just like, bro, I could have just gone a whole nother way and been done with it. So this took some time, and it was a lot of wasted time. I could have been doing other things and gotten to Wednesday faster, I guess. I do like the soundtrack of the Addams Family. I like the soundtrack. I like Pugsley's Scavenger Hunt, which is based on the cartoon. There was an animated Saturday morning cartoon in the 90s that I loved. Got up every Saturday morning to watch it because the Addams Family. So, like, I went and I was trying to get up here and get on this thing, but the platforming is sometimes wonky because he slides. Gomez slides a lot, and you're going to take a lot of hits that you shouldn't have to take because Gomez's hitbox is weird. Also, too, I have a code on that gives you extra lives every $10. And I have a double jump code on. Yeah, I got a lot of codes on here. And I did that on purpose because I knew, having played this a lot in my lifetime, that you're going to take a lot of hits and you're going to have some jumping issues and challenges. And so it's just best to just, it's really just best to put a code on and try to do it that way. And you'll see later on, I come back to the same section, Wormy Way, because it's a giant circle. And I was just like, why am I even here? But yes, every dollar makes 10, and for every $100 you get an extra life. So, yeah, if I didn't have that code on, we would be ever trying to give me extra lives. So that's why I have 24. But I can't die, so I made it so that I can't die. That's why you see I can take a billion hits here. It'll be alright. A lot of backtracking too. And I'm like, how am I supposed to avoid that? So much extra. He's taking hits and it's just unnecessary. But that is not to say I do not enjoy playing this game. It can be very hard. I've beaten it in one playthrough. Of course, I had codes on. And I had a Game Genie back in the day, so I definitely gave myself some codes. So yes, so you can fight the centipedes here, and you get another. You fight them as any other normal boss. You gotta jump on them. And I'm just taking all the hits too. But so I got another heart power up. That's why I say you can come down here and do this, and you get the heart power up. Which, okay, I guess. Like it's unnecessary. It's the Monster Garden. VG Maps is super helpful here. There's a site that I go to all the time that I use, and I will plug heavily anything involving retro games and games that need maps. Retro games that are incredibly hard, like the original Metroid that needed a map. Games like this, because they helped me beat the last boss and figure out the way to get to him. VGMaps.com. Very good. Very great site. Love them. They are a lifesaver. And so I look at them and I give them credit where necessary. We have used them to do our Ninja Gaiden playthrough. And I very much credited them immediately because they did the hard work. So now, as you can see, I'm back at Thorn Pass, which is like, but why though? Why are we back here? We were just in Thorn Pass. And I'm like, why do all these things lead in a giant circle? This doesn't make any sense. It's super annoying. So I was trying to bounce up there, but I couldn't quite stick the landing off of the little dudes. I just could not. And I don't have the Fez copter on, and I was trying to just do this normal platforming way, and of course. So this is my thing. You would die here trying to go back. You're not gonna make this. Ugh, it's so. The platformer just left a little bit to be desired here. Just to his mechanics, he slides a lot. That's super annoying. Like, I would have been dead here because I just landed square on like more than 5 little spikes, and I hit 5 enemies. So see, I'm now back where I came from. So wormy way, that's why I was like, I already came through here. This is annoying. So I'm gonna backtrack all the way back out, and I'm getting out of here so I can go rescue Wednesday. Which I couldn't even do that because now I gotta go back the other way. That was so annoying. I promise y'all, this was so annoying. It was just a lot of wasted time. And I would have died unnecessarily here trying to figure things out had I not had codes on. That would have been super annoying. So I just went straight back here. And I don't remember if I went up or down or what. Yeah, I was so aggravated by the time I got here. And without that double jump code on, his jumping's terrible. Just so you know. His jumping is terrible. Oh, and now I don't have a choice. So now I do have to go back in. And I have to go out. It's so annoying. The long garden. Which is where I should have gone in the first place. Yeah, it's kind of like, but why though? So him having to jump over these spikes, super annoying, just to take that log across. So annoying. And yes, every time I jump through here, you can get hidden points. So I got a hidden 1,000 points every time you see that little 1,000 pop up. It's because they've hidden points in the middle of like in thin air, but it's like hidden. So I mean, it really isn't worth it though. It's what do the points do? I'm not quite sure what the point of the points were. Okay, so now we're in the graveyard. And now we're in the graveyard. And so this is why I was like, I should have just come out here in the first place. The graveyard was fine, but I was mad that all this stuff is in the graveyard. Now we can go in the crypt. They give you a message and says this is Wednesday's favorite place. Maybe she is down here. She is. Yeah. So this is the section. I'm gonna tell y'all this section. It's coming up, and it's like a weird jumping section. And all I knew was that you gotta go down. This room is a little bit too big for my liking. Like, why is that ceiling just so wide open? I feel like there's supposed to be something there. It's really not, but I feel like there should be something there. And so you go across here. These little things, oh, they work on my nerves. These weird, like, they look like thwomps, but they're not thwomps, but they're thwomps. Except they're pentagrams, I guess. They are, they're super annoying because if you didn't have this coat on, if I didn't have this coat on that I have on, I would have been dead. Because there's no way you're going to not take the hit. And they're also falling very fast, so you're going to take this hit. The platforming here is incredibly difficult. Okay, so Jester's jump. So you're gonna see me pause here for a second and turn on the Fizz copter because I would be very transparent here. As you can see, I would have failed that jump and fell right down into the fire. And is trying to make this jump to get back up. They purposefully did this way. It is incredibly hard. Also, Gomez's jumping skills are terrible. So there's a couple of times where you see me fall in the fire where he should have jumped, but he didn't. Or he jumped and he hit the edge of the thing because they did it just so that he would do that. Then I fell all the way back down. I had made it all the way back over here and then he fell all the way back down. And I was like, nope, we're gonna do something to fix this. And there it is. So, yeah, I gave myself the Fizz copter, which gives me unlimited flight. As so long as I have the Fizz copter on. Because I was like, I'm not doing that. I would have fallen down there and died if I had not had the appropriate coat on, first of all. Second of all, also note that thing didn't trip because I hit it too fast. But yeah, Jester's jump is the reason why you gotta turn on that code to give yourself unlimited Fizz copter. And then I think I turned off Fizz copter or something. Like I paused and turned it off because I really don't need it on. It's just I don't really need it on for what else I was trying to do. That section, I learned you gotta have the Fizz copter on. You have to. There's no way you're gonna make that jump. Not with the way that Gomez's jumping skills are done. There's no way you're making that jump. You're not making the jumps. You're not. Stone Steps isn't that hard, but I chose to make it hard here because I was just like, I just want to get into this section and be done with it. These shoes make you speed up. I think, yeah, here, yes, I paused and I turned off the Fizz copter. Yeah, we turned off Fizz copter. Mostly because I just didn't need it. But, yeah, I kept that. I mean, I could have kept it on here, but it really wasn't super necessary for me to have on. So, I turned it off. But, yeah, this was so annoying. Like, just going to get Wednesday is hard. As a matter of fact, I think I may have turned on Fezcopter again. I seem to recall having turned it back on because I was like, absolutely not. We're not doing this. Why they thought this was a good idea, I don't know. But it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. Actually, maybe I didn't turn Fezcopter back on. I think I just went on ahead and went through this section because I didn't need to go up to the top. I was trying to get the feet, but I was just gonna run through this section anyway. I mean, it doesn't matter if I take damage. Now I do like how they make you do this. Now that I don't mind. That's classic platforming where you have to like jump to hit the ball, to bounce up, to get up to the next platform. That's fine. That's classic platforming. I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is some of these mechanics. Like, I don't even mind this mechanic here of the block having to push you through the section. I'm cool with that too. But some of this stuff is like, what even are you doing? But the firing fish, actually, this section isn't bad. It's not bad at all, really. It's really not. Chamber of Walls. Oh, I would have died because I would have fell straight in the fire. Oh, there's a section. Yes, this little jump here is annoying too. And I hate how they did this. They did this on purpose to make his jumping hard. It took me a couple of tries. And you'll notice every time I fall in the fire, it's because I'm not. He's not jumping when I say jump. He's just kind of dashing forward and falling in. Because he slides. And his jumping is terrible. I mean, they purposefully did this. I'm going to get hit again. And not going to make that jump up there. And we're going to fall into the fire a couple times. Yeah, I would have lost a bunch of lives here. This would have made me really mad. This is super annoying. I finally made the jump after a million tries of doing it. But this would have made me mad. This would have really made me mad. And this would have, had I not had this coat on. So it took me a couple of tries. Like, it took me a bunch, as you can see, it took me a bunch of tries to get this. Like, it's required. My problem with this is that it requires precision jumping, and it's not precision mechanics for jumping. If that makes sense. You're asking me to make precision jumps like this, but then his mechanics don't lend themselves to precision jumping. This ain't Mario. Like, he ain't programmed with Mario's precision jumping. It's not even close. But you're asking for Mario level acrobatics and abilities to do. And that's not what you're giving me with the programming. So yes, I have a problem with this. A lot. Okay, so the ante room, we're almost at the end. The ante room is the ante room is right beforehand. So that's what that means. So yeah, we're right there at the last thing. That's why I'm just straight blundering. I'm like, all right, I know where I am. I know I'm almost there. I really don't need the extra men, but here we go. So my playthrough is going to end once I beat the boss for Wednesday to get Wednesday. And then what you do is once you get all of the and here we are, we're at the boss. So it's a ghastly goblin. As you can see, Wednesday's down there. She's like held in the thing. She's held in captivity there. You have to save her. But once you do this, you go back to the music room once you've saved everybody. And then the door opens, that little bridge goes away, and the door opens. Oh, she's super cute. and then you get a password. So at this point, you start. That's your like checkpoint, I guess, for rescuing the family members. So I do like this. Once you get back into that music room and you got everybody, then the pathway to go fight the judge opens up, and you have to go through a maze to get to Mortician. So yeah, it's I love the Addams Family. I promise you, I do. I absolutely adore the Addams Family, but this game is hard. So we are now at the end of our playthrough. So I want to thank you for watching. Come back and watch more of our systems. We will be doing future games from my collection, retro games, of course, and maybe some current ones, maybe, but definitely retro ones are the priority here. I really enjoyed kind of playing through this and showing you guys how it works a little bit. I love Addams. I promise y'all, I love the Addams Family, but oh my gosh, sometimes this game drives me crazy. Plus, the scavenger hunt is pretty hard too. Also, it can get really hard also, just through its mechanics and things. But I love this as an intro to Addams Family. If you are not super aware of the Spooky Family and you want to get into them, this is a great start because it really references all of the Addams Family properties that have been released at this point, including the original cartoon by Charles Addams. So, that's to say that get into the Addams Family. Just make sure you're using codes for this. So, thank you for watching. Come back and watch more of our videos later. We will be doing more with systems in future issues, and I hope that you enjoyed this little quick jaunt through the Addams Family. Peace.